Important disclaimer: beware of fake stock tips promising unbelievable returns. These are all fraud. We only provide educational content through our official website and social media.
Hey everyone, this is Rajeshwara Pandian, SEBI Registered Research Analyst, Mumbai. Over the last few years, we've witnessed global uncertainties peak to unprecedented levels. In 2021 to 22, we saw the Russia-Ukraine war begin. Then came the trade tensions between the US and China. And most recently, we are all aware of the rising tensions in the Middle East. Now, because of all these uncertainties, there's one sector that keeps coming into the limelight time and again, and that sector is defense. That's why today I'm bringing you another very important explainer video where we'll focus on 4 key areas. The macro view on defense, how defense spending is happening globally and in India. The impact of the US-Israel-Iran war on India at 3 levels: economy, business and household. Q4 updates from key defense companies. Different ways you can take exposure to the defense theme as an investor. So stick with me till the end. This is going to be extremely informative. Section 1. The macro view on defense. Let's first understand how much military spending is happening globally and in India. Global military spending. Global military spending stood at $2.7 trillion in 2024, and this has accelerated particularly in the last 1 or 2 years. India's defense budget. India's defense budget has grown from 2.53 trillion rupees in 2013 to 14 to 6.81 trillion rupees in 2025 to 26. Please note, the global figure is in dollars while India's is in rupees. India's defense production. Now you might ask, the budget is good, spending is good, but is production actually happening, and is it happening in India? Because we've been talking about the Make in India theme. Let me share some compelling numbers. In 2020, India's defense production stood at 80,000 crore rupees. By 2025, it has gone up to 1,50,000 crore rupees, almost doubled. By 2029, we are planning to take it to 3 lakh crore rupees, another doubling from today's levels. Defense exports. Is all this being consumed in India or are we exporting too? The answer is a resounding yes, and these numbers will blow your mind. Back in 2017, our exports stood at roughly 2,000 crore rupees. By 2025, our exports have jumped to 23,622 crore rupees, a massive jump. By 2029, we are aiming to achieve defense exports of 50,000 crore rupees, another doubling in just 4 years. Public versus private sector share. Is this only public sector companies doing well, or are private players participating too? PSUs have a dominant share of almost 77% in the defense sector. Private companies have a comparatively lower share, but their presence is steadily increasing. Private companies are also becoming a key driver in our export-driven growth. Stock market performance. Is all this reflected in stock prices? Absolutely yes. Over the last 1 year, Nifty 500 gave 4.31% returns, while Nifty Defense Index gave 27.38%. Over the last 5 years, Nifty 500 gave 80% returns, while Nifty Defense Index gave almost 800%. Amazing numbers, but always remember, past returns don't guarantee future returns. Section 2. Impact of the US-Israel-Iran war on India. Now let's understand the impact of this war at 3 levels: economy, business and household. By now, everyone knows about the importance of the Strait of Hormuz, which has been choked because of the US-Israel-Iran war affecting global oil flows. Impact on the economy. India's import dependency is critically high. Oil, 85 to 90% import dependency. LPG, more than 60% import dependency. This makes our nation vulnerable to oil shocks. Here's what's happening. 1. Massive import bill. Since February 2026, our import bill has risen by almost 35 to 40%. That's huge. This leads to an increase in trade deficit, not a good point for us. 2. Rupee depreciation. If crude oil prices increase, will the rupee depreciate? Obviously, yes, because we have to pay in dollars. This puts downward pressure on the Indian rupee. The rupee going beyond 90 was painful and it has even touched a high of 95. 3. Fiscal deficit concerns. Because of rising inflation and crude oil prices, the government typically cuts excise duty to ease consumer burden. But this can strain the fiscal deficit. The current deficit target is 4.5% of GDP, and news articles suggest this could be challenged. 4. Inflation spike. Our consumer price index has moved into the 6.8 to 7% range. Transport costs, vegetable prices, milk, and daily necessities have gone up by almost 15 to 20%. Impact on businesses 1. MSMEs, chemicals, paints, plastics. These companies are hit the most because crude oil is their biggest raw material. Their production costs have jumped by almost 30%. 2. Hotels and hospitality. Commercial LPG cylinders aren't subsidized and prices keep rising. 19 kilogram cylinder prices jumped by 195 rupees in April 2026. Restaurants are either increasing menu prices or shrinking dish sizes to pass inflation to consumers. 3. Logistics and transportation. These companies have introduced a fuel surcharge of almost 10 to 12% to cover rising diesel costs. 4. Aviation sector. ATF, air turbine fuel prices have increased sharply. To counter this, aviation companies have increased domestic airfares by almost 25%. Impact on households. Domestic LPG prices have increased and the government has enforced a mandatory 21 to 25 day gap between booking your first and second cylinder. Petrol diesel prices in Maharashtra increased by almost 15 to 20 rupees per litre, though state governments have slashed excise duties by around 10 rupees to soften the blow. People are adapting. EV demand is increasing. Many have shifted from LPG to induction cook stoves and some are even cycling to offices to save money. Section 3. Q4 Defense Company Updates. Let's quickly review Q4 results from 3 key defense companies. 1. HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Management mentioned execution has remained stable despite supply chain issues. Strong deliveries in engines and helicopters. Order book provides revenue visibility of almost 7 to 8 years. Focusing on capacity expansion and backward integration. Year-on-year revenue growth 4.1%. 2. BEL, Bharat Electronics Limited. Strong defense and non-defense order growth. Current order book stands at 74,000 crore rupees. Heavy focus on exports. Investing in advanced tech, AI, cyber security, EW, electronic warfare systems. Year-on-year revenue growth 12.5%. 3. GRSE, Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers. Record execution of 8 vessels delivered this year. Near-term trigger. Potential next-generation corvette order. Expanding into exports, commercial vehicles and niche segments like bridges and systems. Year-on-year revenue growth 26%. Section 4. How to invest in the defense theme. Disclaimer. This is not stock advice or investment advice. This is purely educational. If you want exposure to the defense theme, here are the different ways. Option 1. Direct stock investment. Requires good knowledge of stocks, fundamental analysis, technical analysis and valuations. You make the final decision based on your research. Option 2, Defense ETFs, requires almost zero expertise. You're investing in the entire defense index. Option 3, Defense Mutual Funds, 3 subtypes. A. Active mutual funds. Fund manager actively picks stocks based on valuations and order books. B. Passive mutual funds. No active involvement. Simply tracks the defense index. C. Fund of funds. FOF. Invest directly into defense ETFs. Important note on concentration. If you're investing in a nifty defense fund, be aware that 4 stocks HAL, BEL, Bharat Dynamics and Solar Industries account for almost 60 to 70% of the weightage. There's also an Axis Nifty India Defence Index Fund NFO that was open from April 10th to April 24th. You can Google it for more details. So those are the 3 main ways to take exposure to defense as a theme. I hope you found a lot of value in today's video. We started with the macro view and drilled down to investment options. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Share with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind.